Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is Rashiditi Ghosh. I am the Senior Assistant Editor of Elets Technomedia and I am here to welcome you all to Freshworks Present Transforming Public Service Delivery for AatmaNirbhar India webinar in association with Elets Technomedia and eGovernance magazine. Today, we are going to discuss with you how this webinar is going to speak about the digital transformation happening across the sectors and especially in the e-governance segment. Thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar. To begin with, I would like to give a brief of what helped us or what is the genesis of this webinar. Over the last 3 years, we have seen how digital first experiences have redefined our normal lives. The world has transformed with COVID-19 pandemic and a future of digital in-person experiences await us. We all can see how digital transformation has accelerated and touching each and every service and every one of us. Public service delivery has also undergone a tremendous evolution, and the government of India is finding new way to leverage this new technology to discuss the vital technology components required to aid transformation. Elets Technomedia, in association with Freshworks, has today is organizing Samvaad, transforming public service delivery for AatmaNirbhar India. And to begin with, I would like to uh, welcome, just a second. Today, I would like to welcome Miss Jyoti ji. Jyoti ji is Jyoti Saini ji is public sector head. She's from Freshworks, and she'll be presenting a presentation that will help us understand more about the webinar and the discussion that we are going to have today. Welcome, Jyoti ji, and I request you to go ahead with your presentation and help us get the insightful views on the digital transformation. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rashi. Thanks for having me here. It's really glad to be here on a Friday, beautiful evening. I'm based out at Delhi, and it's drizzling and a beautiful weather. And let me share my screen and let me start with the presentation. So give me a minute. Wow, and this is. Can you see my screen, Rashi?
Uh, yes, Jyoti ji, I can see your screen.
Okay. So, without further ado, let me start talking about why we are here, and talking about transforming public service delivery for citizen and decision makers, and what is Freshworks, what we do as an organization. So, without further ado, my name is Jyoti Seni, and I am heading the public sector vertical for Freshworks in solving big and smaller problems for the policymakers and government organizations in India. Before we move further with the theme, I would like to briefly talk about Freshworks as an organization. So, Freshworks is an entity which was founded in 2010 in Chennai, and we are that bet of India. We are the product company from India which has gone global, and we are very proud to be India's first SaaS startup to go public and do our IPO at Nasdaq. Not just that, we have our offices in 13 countries. We are catering to more than 16,000 customers globally, and what we do, we create delight. So Freshworks is a CRM organization managing the citizen engagement and employee engagement part of customer relationship management. We are part of four magic quadrant for last 4 years as per Gartner, and we are the only organization which is seen as a visionary in the customer relationship management. We are hosted on AWS in Mumbai data center, and we have been named as number 10 companies by Forbes Cloud 100. And why I take pride in talking about this is, this is an organization which started as a startup to become this big, and it's like build in India to build up India promise. Now coming, as I mentioned previously, that we are in the business of creating delight, and so much so has been said about digital transformation. I would like to talk about how Freshworks is enabling that. So as I mentioned, we are a SaaS, born in the cloud organization, and we are a AI/ML enabled platform. We call that platform Neo, and we have tools to manage the customer delight, uh, at the same time ensuring that the employees or the officers who are ensuring the customer delight are well equipped with solving those concerns or service requests and multiple things. And very recently we understand that messaging and chatbots are becoming an inevitable part of our lives, and how specifically for public sector service delivery and grievance redressal, chatbots can be used as the first layer of engagement, wherein there are multiple queries coming in the front end, and the load is too much on the system. How can chatbots deflect and engage, not just for the citizen but also for the employees? Talking about citizen experience briefly, we understand that times are changing. There used to be time wherein we would go to offices and stand in queues to get our things done. I don't remember when was the last time I had gone to my bank. So today's conversations are digital and always on. And this is a report by Gartner which says that by 2025, 85%, 80% of customer service organization will develop the messaging on third party platforms to stay available to their customers, across multiple platforms. And when we are talking about messaging, how we can ensure that when we are trying to unify messaging across multiple channels, the messaging remains the same, and the customer as well as the back end officers are able to get the context, and they it's not it's very simple. So I really am a avid believer of technology, and I feel that technology can be a change agent for the future, and this is one of the things which is now going to come and change how the NLP enabled, AIMN enabled chat messaging, or chatbots can cater to the requirement of not just the urban population, but also talking about the population which is not conversant in English. They might be somebody who does not know how to go fill a form on a portal. He would still have a smartphone, he would still have a WhatsApp. How we can use those channels? So this unification of messaging talks about that we can have multiple channels. Backend would be one, and Teams does not have to toggle between various tools to revert to the citizen queries, or how they can manage their various requests or grievances coming from various places at single interface. How can intelligence support be taken care by the chatbots? And when I'm talking about bots, I'm talking about bots which are not just they are there to deflect your automated queries, but they can also register your grievance, they can suggest you, they understand the intent, and much more. And there are various backend integrations and all those things. Moving on to the next slide, when we talk about various channels that this is actually valid for enterprise as well as government organizations. There are multiple channels which are open, but they offer different experience. How can we ensure that a citizen who is reaching out to on your Facebook page or writing a Twitter is as nicely served as someone who is standing in the department or who is calling on the helpline? So streamlining and managing all the customer journey into one single interface is something that we do. And I have mentioned that when we're talking about public sector, specifically digital transformation in public sector is overwhelming, because when you ask this is citizen to stay connected and reach out to you through multiple channels, the volumes are overwhelming. And so it is very important for us to ensure that our officers and our agents who are working at the back end are properly equipped to understand the context. And this talks about wherein we say that doesn't matter what the channel from which citizen is coming to the government, there's a unified backend. And basis there are various automations, basis the skill department, multiple KPIs, assignment happens automatically. Chatbots come and engage with the citizen for not just the repetitive query, but also to take on and register their complaint for the service delivery or a grievance. Again, intelligent ticket automation, I've mentioned about that how system is able to automatically assign the tickets to various departments or agents. Last but not the least, when we talk about digital transformations or platforms, data is very important. And how we are able to make sure that whatever data we have, we are able to derive absolute analysis out of it. It is predictive. It can also tell you what will be what has happened, what are the key bottom lines that you have to manage, what are the SLAs, which are the areas wherein you need to have focus. So we in our neo platform, we have powerful inbuilt analytics as a part of the engagement. Moving on to the next slide, I was talking about employee experience. Now I'll shift to I was talking about citizen experience, and now I'll shift to how we are changing employee experience and how it is becoming more and more important, specifically in enterprise organization, and it is percolating to public sector also, that employees want to have a unified solution. They don't want to work in silos. And how I'll talk about how we can engage employees, and we have a platform wherein we can ensure that starting from the end users who have various requests for specific ask. It could be a request, it could be a IT SM, it could be an incident like my laptop is not working, to the admins who are managing those workflows, and the C suite management CEOs and CMs for that matter, various supervisors who need to know how it is faring across various LOBs and departments. And because we see that as of now, when we are talking about at times the entire world has moved to a hybrid environment, so IT has to be always on. And why it has to be always on? Because IT is no more just a support function, but it is a business enabler. There was time when COVID was there, entire government machinery was working. There were many IT organizations which were also working at the same time to enable. So we have to see that it's always on for business. So IT has become very important. And ideally, how now talking about IT has to be always on, but how that can happen is that you choose a right side ITSM tool, extending ITSM to other lines of business. Why this is becoming more important is because IT is no more working in silos. IT is important for legal, IT is important for operations, for monitoring alert in an oil refinery, and how that can be automatically converted to something which can be managed before it becomes a havoc, right? And of course, a unified IT operations management is the need of the hour. Talking about the salient features of a right sized ITSM solution, it has to be intuitive, it has to be intelligent to understand the context, what the employee is asking. It has partner like engagement model, and it is extensible to other line of business like legal, like travel, like various approvals for various tools. So this is one of our product which wherein we ensure that we take care of asset management, alert management, operations management, of course incident management. And also that whenever you need to have your field technicians to go somewhere, that is also manageable. So this becomes very important. And very briefly, for next 2 3 minutes, I'll talk about a very interesting use case. This is the fresh approach that we foresee, wherein there could be multiple ways how a citizen is trying to reach out to the government with a unified backend. And there are multiple channels open, be it social media mentions to chatbots to email portal widgets or calling lines, but with a unified backend. And again, this talks about the same thing in a different language, that the it bases the auto routing. It is reaching the specific department who is managing those either a service delivery request or a grievance. And this shows the backend platform that doesn't matter whether the query is coming from email, or it is coming from chat or cloud telephony or portal or social media. It is one of the same thing. It is reaching the same person. And the employees in public sector who are working on resolving these problems do not have to change various tools. They do not have to have different reports and consolidate. And they have efficiency of auto routing and intelligent tools to help them focus on the KPIs that they have. And this is very important, wherein when I was talking about data and analytics, how analytics is becoming very important and data is the new gold. And how you can know what are the areas wherein there are more complaints coming, what are the SLAs, what is the citizen satisfaction. And specifically talking about the C level and CMs and the secretaries and senior officials, they need to understand how the department is doing. And so we have got inbuilt analytics module. And this actually talks about using chatbot as not just deflection tool, but also as an engagement tool. Wherein it talks about when how we can uh, make this chatbot engagement. And this can be, of course, extended to any channel, not just for deflection, but also wherein citizen can reach out to the department, and chatbots can help them. And there would be a point wherein chatbot would not be able to help them, so it can be either connected to a live agent, or it can be automatically converted as a ticket. Now, talking about Freshworks, so we are a SaaS platform. And so though we compete with the likes of the ERP applications also, but we are a SaaS company, a cloud based organization. And our pricing is very simple. We are a low code, no code platform, able to integrate with other applications simply through APIs. And it's very easy to extend and scale with us. And you don't have to plan that in the beginning. These are some of the customers. And wherever you're talking to Swiggy, or you're booking a Zoom car, or you're going to make my trip, you are actually talking to one of our bots or some of the other products. Some of the government customers we have is government of Karnataka, government of Telangana, government e-marketplace, Air India. I would like to talk about some use cases with Niti Aayog. We actually created COVID platform, which was a platform to receive online donations in 4 days time, with nothing in place, to a platform wherein various departments, various ministries are interacting. Make My Trip is one of our customers which is using our product Fresh Chat, and they have been increased their efficiency by 3 times. And PhonePe is another one of our customer, wherein their 60% of grievances or queries are being taken care by chatbots. Step one, I would like to talk about. This is a non-profit startup to manage COVID, and augment government resources with technology. So what was happening, it was adopted by 21 state government during COVID first wave and second wave, wherein no matter you are calling on a helpline number, or you are reaching out through any other channel, your this thing would land into your request would land into Freshdesk, and it would be automatically routed to various, either a hospital or a government official or volunteer. So technology is an enabler. And with this, I would like to thank you for your patient hearing, and would like to stop sharing. Just one last note, and I would say that we a system, whenever we talk about technology, has to be very simple, and UX and UI has to be which can be used by even a child. So that is something, with this I stop, and I think, thank you so much, and over to you, Rashi.
Thank you, Ms. Saini, for this insightful presentation. I think few things you shared. You talked about data as the new gold. IT has to be on all the time. Creating a platform in just 4 days, that too amid the pandemic, is something very commendable, and we are very motivated with the presentation you shared just now. Congratulations on all
Thank
the
you.
good work they're doing. And now I would take our viewers to Visual Delight, a small video that will talk about the positive and the good initiatives taken by Freshworks. Can we have the video on screen, please?
Business software that's hard to use can make work feel pretty darn frustrating. Because instead of helping you do your job, it feels like it's working against you. But Freshworks makes software that people actually love to use, which means you can stop fighting your software and start working the way you've always imagined. Freshworks, ridiculously easy software for business.
All right, so that was a quick video, very visually very delightful, because anything and everything that talks about digital connectivity in today's era, that helps us in maintaining
Sure.
continuity and resilience, is important. So
Yeah.
with this, I would like to take our viewers to a very important panel discussion today, which would be titled on gearing towards AatmaNirbhar Bharat through digital services. We would be joined by Dr. Dimant Kumar Vyas. He is the Regional Commissioner of Municipalities, Rajkot Zone, Gujarat. Welcome, sir. Uh, we would also be joined by Colonel A.K. Nath, Executive Director, Corporate Strategy, CDAC. Welcome, sir. Dr. Vinay Thakur, Managing Director, National Informatics Center Services, Inc., Government of India. Welcome, sir. Sameer Unhale, State Mission Director, Swachh Maharashtra Mission Urban. Welcome, sir. Golok Kumar Simli, Chief Technology Officer, Passport Seva Program, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Welcome, sir. And Ms. Jyoti Saini, Public Sector Head, Freshwork. Welcome once again, Jyoti ji. Now it's over to you, Jyoti Saini ji. I would request you to take over and address the panel discussion. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rashi. And thank you, esteemed panelists, for being here. I have spoken already a lot. So now I would really delve into the questions that I have for my esteemed panelists. And I would like to start with you, Golok sir. And I would like to understand, and would you like to elaborate on the transformative journey initiated by technology in Passport Seva program and the key milestone it has achieved so far?
Thank you. Thank you. I was listening to the presentation of Freshworks. It was very enlightening and kind of a knowledge sharing presentation. Coming back to today's discussion, which we have gathered, we are talking about Samvaad. How do you transform public service delivery at large across the country? I think some of the use cases, some of the learnings which we are carrying, I'd like to present here. Uh, Typically, if you ask me, the journey which we have traveled, those days I remember when we were starting national e-governance program in the year 2004-5. And today, if you ask me where we are standing today, the journey is long and the learnings are enough. India as a country, in terms of creating the digital infrastructure for public goods at large, if you ask me, we are none second than in the world if you compare to the global picture. Coming back to the Passport Seva program, uh, ICT at large, if you ask me, uh, typically if we see ICT, we say that it's information and communication technology. But here, in terms of Passport Seva, we have taken ICT a level further. And when it comes to ICT, I typically say it is innovation, it is collaboration, and it is transfer of knowledge and transfer of connected intelligence. And that is what probably I have done in the Passport Seva program. When I say innovation, innovation in all sense, innovation in terms of technology, innovation in terms of business model. How do you engage with the industry at large? How do you create a business model which is sustainable, which is win-win for every one of us, all the stakeholders, and which is for all time to come? It's not day one or let's say 2 3 years, but all times to come. When it comes to collaboration, what we have done is it is not about external affairs ministry alone, but it is also about all the stakeholders. When I say stakeholders, your dependencies. And I think the miss we do is most of the time we forget about your dependencies. For an example, in our case, the police authorities are our biggest dependencies. India Post, who dispatch your passport, is your biggest dependency. India Security Press Nasik, who actually prints our blank booklet, they are one of our major dependency. And when we are starting the passport seva overhauling, we thought, how do you take them alone? No, apart from the ministry and no, my own users, can I take my dependencies alone? And believe me, when we are talking to the police authorities in the year 2010-12, I think we were the first ministry to connect to all the district police headquarters real time online. Even before MHA, I can put this fact very right here, saying that even before MHA, you could connect all the police authorities, police authorities, real time online when it comes to passport verification process. So that is why the collaboration makes very important. Another example I can quote, when we are making the services completely online, we could realize that there is a section of society, the rural masses, there are states like, let's say, Bihar, UP, and Jharkhand, where probably at the remote places we do not have computer and internet at the vicinity. Now, how do you deal with those kind of remote places, village masses, and those section of society who probably do not have access to computer and internet? And that is the time I really exactly remember. That point of time, we were having around 45 to 50,000 common service center across India. And again, we were the first ministry to integrate with all those common service center, created an ecosystem for those kind of a section of society who were not having computer and internet at home, or imagine a illiterate citizens, or who is not aware of filling the application form online. How do you bring them part of your ecosystem and part of the mainstream which you are planning for? And that is the time we integrated with all the common service center, and that gave us a platform and digital infra to reach to every one of us across the country. The same way today, I don't make any difference whether you apply from Delhi, Mumbai, or Chennai, or somebody apply from a remote village of Jharkhand, UP, or Bihar, right? So that's how one should collaborate and see that the government ecosystem at large, how do you leverage and take advantage of it, right? The last thing I'd also like to mention, that I always say that, can I create a connected intelligence, right? Can I create that transfer of knowledge and skills? Now, when I say so, meaning to say that, imagine that today I issue a passport, right? And even before you, let's say, land into my border check post or immigration authorities, can I really know that, okay, now Mr. So and so is approaching the immigration authorities, and in between, let's say, I have issued the passport 10 years before or 5 years before, and within that 5 years some sort of a adverse no kind of a uh, thing is getting added into that particular citizen, can that intelligence flows to the my immigration authorities? So even the citizen will not be aware, by my system will come to know that in between you have getted into this kind of adversity onto your background, and that's why you cannot fly out of the country, right? So that kind of a collaboration, sharing, connected intelligence, exchange of information, if we can create, I think that is the time I feel we will feel that the public service transformation at large, public service delivery at large, without making any differentiation between remote and urban, or rural and urban, literate and semi-literate, or any kind of such difference, you can give a seamless and hassle-free service, right? The last thing I'd also like to put, saying that when it comes to digital adoptions, one is how do you adapt digital, second is how do you leverage digital, and third is very important, how do you innovate around the digital, right? And I think passport seva, we are continuously not only adapting and leveraging, but also we are continuously trying to innovate and improve, right, in all facets of my part of service delivery ecosystem, whether it is citizen interface, whether it is my own employee and users, or whether it is my stakeholders. So that's how I put it. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. And very correctly said, you spoke about collaboration, you talk about contextual collaboration, knowledge base, and knowledge transfer, and a new definition of ICT, which is innovation, collaboration, and time to come. Excellent. Now, with this thought, I would like to move to Sameer Unale, sir. Sir, okay, you're there. Okay. So, sir, the question to you is that being a pioneer in the urban infrastructure space in India, what are the challenges faced by you during the technological advancement of urban sector in infrastructure? And Sameer Unhale sir is State Mission Director for Swachh Bharat Mission Urban for Maharashtra. Sir.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity to interact with you, and all greetings to the co-panelists. I think the question is very, very important, that how technology can be utilized for facing the challenges of public policy making and public policy implementation and execution. I think these are very important points. And one thing, of course, is there that technology is it helps us to manage many things simultaneously, because we all of us have limited span of attention, and the basic principles of organizations that were used are the same one which makes it necessary to use the information technology in urban services, urban services, in managing urban areas, and also issues related with infrastructure of urban areas. I think this is a very important initiative. Secondly, many efforts have been made to adopt technology into the management of cities and services and infrastructure. And especially in last 2 decades, we have seen many initiatives from various types of services. It can be mobility, it is energy, it is, the way we are now seeing the adoption of this technology even in the areas like solid waste management, like used water management, and the capabilities of the technology, which earlier would have been very difficult to manage huge urban areas, big metropolitan areas, is now possible primarily because of the use of technologies and the potential that the technology has to resolve the challenges and to make urban living more comfortable and more enjoyable. I think we have seen that you can pick up any sector of city living. It can be water supply, it can be energy, it can be mobility, it can be other elements of transport, it can be solid waste management, it can be the various services that the municipal councils are supposed to provide and the corporations are supposed to provide. There are, of course, many interdepartmental, any intergovernmental agencies who are also simultaneously, concurrently operating in any urban space. This happens more so with, say, larger metropolitan areas, in which we see that there might be agencies with the central government, agencies with the state government, agencies of local bodies, and as well as, the private sector is also fairly active in it. And then when we look at how these various sectors are going to engage, are going to interact, are going to, cooperate, are going to ensure that there are no gaps, there are no overlaps, there is a synergy, then it's a huge task. And I think various initiatives from the government of India, as well as the various state governments, the various city governments, the smart city SPVs, is an indicator as to how the technology is getting used in various elements of urban living. And I think the lessons that we ought to learn, that of course is essentially, my learning was that technology it is essentially a human issue. It's not a high end tech, or finances involved with that, or the contract management of course is there, but that probably might take us to maybe 70 or 80%. But the last mile connectivity, as we say, or the missing link, is always the human element, the cultural element, and the ability of all of us, our staff, ourselves, the users, the various stakeholders, the citizens, how easily they can adopt this technology, and ensure that the efficiency is maintained. And I think this will be a key lesson for any technological transformation ideas and projects that we would be doing in urban areas. And therefore, we need also to focus adequately upon preparing our manpower, preparing the clientele, preparing the stakeholders on how to use this technology for their benefits. uh, it's also good that we are finding many new ideas that are coming up into this essential space of using technology in urban services and urban management. Smart cities, of course, we have seen the ICCC's, the integrated command and control centers, the live data feeds that are coming, the almost real time management of urban services, the SCADA approach, which was used to water supply, which is also being proposed to use for the use water management under the various missions of the central government, as well as state government, and ULB projects. So it's very heartening to learn that we are now slowly adopting on using these technologies. And then we will have to be ready to, we'll have to be brave enough to not to be constrained and contained by only what the technology apparently provides. The ability to make the fullest use of the potential of technology, I think, is an important challenge for all of us in this decade. And we also will have to keep a overview of the larger challenges that we are facing as a nation, as a humanity. Like it is the issues of climate change, the issues of sustainability, there are issues of an inclusion. And these challenges, I think, can only be attained if the potential, fullest use of the all possible, or the potential of technology can be made. Because ultimately, the technology that we are going to use will be to large extent determined onto how effective we would be in redressing the challenges that are in front of us. So, thanks a lot for that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Very correctly mentioned about sustainability, about having the fullest use of technology. Now, I would like to move to Dr. Vinay Thakur, Managing Director, Nixie, Government of India. Sir, I would like to understand what are your thoughts on public-private partnership model for ensuring adoption of best technologies, and what strategies are you planning to implement to streamline the government procurement processes? And do you see that SaaS organizations like Freshworks, have a play wherein we can work with the Nixie and associated departments to solve some of the problems that government is facing?
Yeah, thank you so much. Great, you have kindly put in a lot of questions. So Nixie is IT procurement agency for the government, which include definitely the procurement of infrastructure that is done now through GEM. And we do provide other services also, and the services are provided through private partners. Actually, government and Nixie and even NIC, they don't have that bandwidth where they can do everything themselves. So it is done through definitely a private model, or somewhere in a PPP model. Golak Saab was talking of CSC, where the entire entrepreneur model have been put in CSC, where Right now, 4.5 lakh common service centers have been set up in the rural areas, the semi-urban areas, in order to support the people out there, in order to provide services and then make their life easy. I'll just a little start with the Digital India program when we started that in 2014. Definitely, the technology was very, very central to enable changes. We started with a number of programs related to infrastructure, starting from BharatNet project, which is being implemented, and that entire project is also on PPP mode, where the private players do come in through the tendering process, and then they lay the fiber and then take the network to the relevant locations in the gram panchayats. Also, the Aadhaar ecosystem, where a lot of Indian company participated together in building that system, and not only building that system, now making it as an ecosystem to take the things forward, so that various services can be integrated around that. On the services front, was a big enabler in terms that the people can get the services at ease. They need not to move out, as you were talking that you have not gone to the bank. So these services can be provisioned through the service model, which were planned under Digital India. The approach was definitely an integrated one, where the services can be integrated together. Land record can talk to registration, can talk to banking, can talk to revenue codes, can talk to gram panchayat, in order to provide a personalized type of services to the farmers. Similarly, many other services were rolled out by the government in order to ensure the ease of doing business. So everywhere, wherever we are working on these wonderful programs, we are participating in all these programs along with the private sector, and take their help in implementing them. And very, very important aspect was empowerment of the citizen, which Golak Saab was also talking of, that uh, the people need to be enabled, not only for availing the services, but then they should also be knowing that how to avail those services. So awareness around that, literacy around them. So we have started a PM Disha program that time, in order to bring about more digital literacy out there in rural areas, and 6 crore families, one person each, is has been brought under that gamut, and then they are being trained on the digital technology, digital literacy. And another very, very important program of the government was citizen engagement and participation through MyGov. So these are few of the things which we worked and started working that time. But then ultimate aim is to have a strong, secure, and sustainable digital economy. And we have also planned that by 2024 we are going to achieve 1 trillion digital economy in the country. So how that is possible is that we have to move and then make our nation as a product nation. We have been making small software, but then we need to have the products created within the country, IPR created out there. So that is one demand, and where we are looking forward that industry should also be working with us. There is a policy also around software product policy, which came in 2019. We also want to see that how we can create a coherent better citizen experiences, which you are talking of, an universal type of system. We are also working in the area of digital platforms, where we can provide all the services, maybe related to agriculture, education, health together, and then provide a personalized services. And we want to see that we can achieve aggressive growth in future skills, emerging technologies, and then can prepare the country for next gen of infrastructure and network. So these were few of the areas where we are trying to take the vision of Digital India forward, to see that how we can have a citizen governance, citizen nagrik, which we are talking of, how to bring about digital governance, digital inclusion, connecting all Indians using an open, safe, and trusted internet. how to bring about a secure cyberspace, and then using emerging tech to make the life of the citizen of the country much better. Right now, we are offering around 4,000 services, and somewhere here or there, we are making use of private sector. 200 big projects are providing these services, and that even while setting up of the infrastructure like cloud, where we are giving a lot of emphasis in order to set up the cloud in the country. So private sector only is contributing and then helping us to achieve our vision, where we want to make India as a cloud nation. So these were few of the areas where we are working on, and working definitely through a private sector. You have also asked about that, what are the opportunities for SaaS organizations. So there are huge opportunities, and we have started working on that. There are a lot of services within the government, whether it is Office 365 or some systems here and there. They are working on a software as a service model. So there is a huge opportunity for all the organizations which are making their products and offering them as a SaaS model. So huge opportunity for everyone to work together. Even under AatmaNirbhar Bharat, lot of softwares, lot of tools. We last year we have gone for the challenge round, where a lot of Indian company participated, whether it is for VC solutions, whether it is for gaming solutions. So they are getting into developing all this. There is encouragement for entrepreneurship. There is encouragement for startups. A lot of programs around them. We have a Meaty Startup Hub. Similarly, there is a support from DPIIT in order to encourage them so that they can participate in this entire process of using the technology to make the life of our citizen better, uh, and provide all these services, and also take the country forward in order to achieve much more things in terms of making not only small software and contributing to a world economy, but then contributing and making these products and become leader everywhere, not only in one aspect, but also in all the aspects, whether it is a software products, whether it is cyber security solutions, whether it is infrastructure, whether it is supercomputer. CDEC is there, so he will also be talking of. So overall, the overarching development which we are looking ahead, and that is only possible with the sport uh, and and things together with the private sector. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And very correctly mentioned about public-private partnership, and hearing your views about Digital India Mission and other initiatives by government. Talking about Freshworks and being one of the startup from India, becoming a global country, and still our origin remains Chennai, India. No matter how big we become, so I totally understand. We as a country need to produce more product companies, and that is correctly said. Now I would like to move and request views of Colonel AK Nath, which is Executive Director, Corporate Strategy, CDAC. Sir, uh, Okay. So, sir, my question to you is this. So, next gen technologies, including high end automation, are being explored for seamless end to end public service delivery. What is your way forward to ensure digital governance in India using seamless end to end new, technologies?
Yes, Jyoti, thank you very much. Uh, First, let me give a little background. Of course, my predecessors have spoken about how these services started in India, how the National E-Governance Mission started. Uh, it requires an enabling atmosphere in a country like ours, and we definitely are at a great advantage that we have a very enabling atmosphere. We have a forward-looking government, and we have a government which has laid the canvas bare for innovation, for creation of any kind of innovative ecosystem in this e-governance field, and that's how it has all come about. And the government departments, we find a great adaptability of technology in the government departments. We find a readiness to adopt more and more modern technology, and absorption of modern technology in the government department. So that's and with that, a wonderful foundation was laid earlier when the e-governance mission started, and CDAC contributed by way of giving the message middlewares, which is called the National Service Delivery Gateway, and the State Service Delivery Gateway, and the Mobile Service Delivery Gateways, which connected the citizens with a secure, seamless connector to the various government services. So this was really actually a revolution which brought the government services to the citizen directly. And after that, I would say that when now talking about futuristically, we find that there has been a proliferation of services in this field. Private sector has come in, the startups have come in. So there is a need of consolidation today. And one great example of consolidation, standardization, is the National Digital Health Mission, in which all the participants are encouraged to build their applications using standardized APIs. The software stack is all standardized. And similarly, we are delivering this India Stack, working on the India Stack for the e-governance services, which will provide APIs to the various developers, so that whatever services are being developed are adhering to standards, they are interoperable, they are seamless, and they are making use of the latest technology platforms. Now coming to the use of supercomputers, use of AI, yes, definitely there is a move towards that. And CDAC, spearheading the National Supercomputing Mission, has already developed some applications which are going to help the normal citizens in due course of time. We have developed a very good model for flood forecasting and flood prediction. For the Mahanadi Basin, we are going to roll out for other river basins also. There is a very, very ambitious application developed for urban air and weather and flood modeling, which will be rolled out for the smart cities. We are already working with some smart city missions in that way. And these are certain grand challenge problems we are already working. And we are working in the area of life sciences, genomics, drug discovery, drug repurposing, and we also have the a very successful telemedicine offering, eSanjeevani, which stood the test of time in COVID. Actually, in COVID, eSanjeevani OPD had a lot of use for the citizens sitting at home. They could talk to the doctors and see the doctors and take consultations online. And crores of I don't have the exact figures, but it is over 5 crore consultations have already happened on this platform. So there are similar services which we are rolling out. One is the e-Hastakshar, which is called a one-time e-sign service. This is an authenticated e-sign service used to authenticate documents, and documents signed with the e-signature provided by CDAC and other service providers are non-repudiable, and they are authentic. We are providing services called e-Praman, which is used to authenticate citizens. It's a 4-factor authentication. Citizens can choose any one of them for gaining access to the government services. Then we have rolled out the emergency response system and support emergency. It's called ERSS, Emergency Response Support System, which has replaced 4 emergency services. That is police 100. It is dial 112. It's like 911 in US. It has replaced police, ambulance, fire, and disaster. So any of these 4 emergencies occurring, you can dial 112, and you can get a immediate response from the state disaster management exchanges which are being run. Then we are working on the national blockchain framework, which will provide a very, very secure and again, non changeable, permanent kind of a solution for keeping various records, documents, etc. So that initiative is on. The blockchain policy, the national blockchain policy, has been rolled out by the government, and that's been a very, very forward-looking step towards e-governance. And a lot of government data, land records, a lot of valuable government data can be actually now put on these the blockchain framework. And again, the framework has been designed such that someone brought out that not one agency can develop and roll out application. Our country is large, so we have to develop a foolproof framework so that uh, startups, developing companies, they all can work on the standardized way of application development and provide services over the framework, which are again standardized, interoperable, and they can talk to each other. The data can be gathered at a central place, and data can be exchanged between various departments. There is a dire need of that today. A lot of things are happening. So as I again said, that consolidation and is the need to move forward, because once we have so much of data, we can use AI, we can use pattern recognition, so many other things to see what is happening, and to predict, predictive analytics. So uh, that is one thing. And I would love to, it's my personal dream to see that, uh, when a service, government service is delivered, let's say, a road is made or something, the ultimate decision maker to release the milestone based payment is not a man but a machine. So it can make out whether the quality has been delivered to the last letter or not. So once that happens, I'm sure there'll be a remarkable improvement, or I would say change in the way the quality of the service delivery which happens of the government. And I'm not saying that it's not happening today. There's a sea change. If you see last 10 years, what has happened in the entire service delivery space as far as the e-governance is concerned, I think no aspect has been left untouched as far as the service deliveries are concerned. And things are happening, and we are having the one of the most efficient payment systems in the world today, being such a large country, but still we are managing. And I think the way payments are happening in our country is something really wonderful. And we are having with this Ayushman Bharat mission, the health delivery is really, really taking a revolutionary turn. And I'm sure, as Thakurji pointed out, we're working towards providing the similar deliveries in agriculture, in education, and so many other fields, which are very at the core of nation development. So I would say these are the ways forward, and CDAC is playing its part by way of AI. And one more aspect I forgot is the expertise in various languages. So we are providing transliteration solutions. We are providing machine-aided translation solutions. We are providing text-to-speech solutions to various government departments, so that services can be, the websites, various services, apps, they can be translated in the languages of the local languages, which can be better understood, and people can better identify with those, so that it helps in bringing the government nearer to even people living in the remote areas who don't know English or don't know Hindi. So that's where CDAC is contributing in a big way. And this national language translation mission is on, and we have a very big supercomputing AI, HPC AI machine, on which large amount of these language models are being trained, and trained models, the inference engines are being deployed, so that the public can make use of these inference engines, and developers can make use of these inference engines. They can translate. Yeah, these are some of the beginning. And I'm sure with this kind of a momentum, what I said a little while ago is not far away. That you can actually expect the machine to be so accurate to take decisions for us. And that will be impersonal, and in some ways it is good, some ways impersonality is bad. But then for ensuring quality, I think we need to have a impersonal person sitting in front. So thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you so much for your insightful discussion, sir. And totally anybody would agree that CDAC is the backbone of India's digital transformation. And talking about initiatives and the frameworks approach that you are talking about is the way forward. Specifically around eSanjeevani, great initiative. So congratulations for that also. Though we have some questions from the delegates who are attending this. But before that, I would like to go to Dr. Dimant Kumar, and I would like to ask his views on, sir, what are the kind of challenges do you see in digital technology adoption and taking it to the last mile? Please highlight your initiative to digitally empower, your region to make it more resilient, competitive, and future ready.
Uh, Thank you. Are you getting my voice?
Absolutely, sir. I'm getting your voice. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. First of all, I thank the organizers for coming up with a very relevant topic, which is required at this stage of the development of India. We are quite aware that in last decade, India has transformed on a large scale, wherein the service deliveries are aided with all IT enabilities. Especially Gujarat, with my experience of government of Gujarat, in Gujarat, we had been little bit more lucky since our current prime minister was our chief minister at that time, and the IT services started rolling out in Gujarat somewhere in 2007-8 onwards. So maybe 5 years we were ahead of what the country saw the jump in the IT enabilities. Initially, what I would say is that the demography of our country at this stage, the age group of 20 to 35, which has the maximum population today in our country, has helped us for going on a large scale enabling of this ICT, technologies at various stages, and the adoption of these technologies at various stages. In fact, we found an overwhelming response. If I share my experience of the 30 different local urban bodies which are directly related with me, I have found that in last 5 years, I have been able to put at least 14 to 15 different services which are now managed online in all these urban local bodies. I'm talking of the small urban local bodies, not of municipal corporations or smart cities. Of course, they are already quite far ahead, but even we have reached up to the D class and C class municipal bodies, where at least 15 services are online and people are utilizing that. So that shows the participation of the citizens at the level. Sharing my experience of Rajkot Municipal Corporation, I can say that last year we had issued e-bills for property tax to around 3,56,000 property holders. And to our surprise and to our good feelings, out of that 3.56 lakhs, around 2.45 lakh property holders returned the tax through e-mode. So that was something which was a very good overwhelming experience we had in Rajkot. Same kind of experience we are now having with the smaller urban local bodies. Even in decision making, say whether some policy or some decision has been taken at certain level of government, the number of suggestions that we get through emails, number of suggestions we get through the social platforms like WhatsApp or through Twitters or say by Instagrams, that has helped us for quick review of the decisions. That has also helped us that whether the decisions which are taken by the government has to be rolled back, or whether they have to be changed accordingly, or whether that decision making has to have still more large public involvement for finalizing the decisions. So that is how the entire scenario has changed. Earlier, as we know, what we had, the process in Government of India and Government of Gujarat was that some notification was done, public opinions were asked for 2 months, and at the end of the 2 months, whatever written representations were met, and after that, these written representations were evaluated and the decisions were made final. Now, again, normally, when such kind of process was there, around 20, 30, or at the most maximum 50 suggestions would come. Against that, now, on the next day of any notification or any decision, you get at least 1,000 comments on various social platforms, which not only enlightens the department, but it also helps the staff to get all this feedback. And based on that, our decision making has become more sound, and we are able to consider the views of the people on a large scale. You know, in Gujarat, we have an example of a minister declaring a WhatsApp number and WhatsApp site and even a website wherein any person of the state can directly put up his question to him. And so any complaint or anything that is to be likely to be drawn attention to the government body comes up so easily and on a so large scale that we can have an all-round 360-degree experience of what would be the effect or the impact of the decision that has been taken. Of course, there are limitations yet. A robust infrastructure in place is the first requirement. I think so far in software area, we are in a quite comfortable situation, but hardware part, still a robust infrastructure is required, because accessibility at all levels and accessibility with uninterrupted power services, with uninterrupted internet services is what is required for reaching at the last mile. See, we can have public amenities. We have started putting up free Wi-Fi in the urban cities. We have started putting up free Wi-Fi in the village cities. We have started putting e-services, e-gram services at the Gram Panchayat levels. We have started various common public platforms where people can go and use internet and IC technologies when they cannot afford for laptops, or where they cannot afford for their own computers. Many mobile-friendly applications and mobile-friendly things also have enabled us to reach to the individual, not only to the families, but to the individual also with the help of this. But still, a very good back-end support is required for all these things. At the same time, we also require a very good quality database. Because if the database, say earlier, when the manual things were there, if there was something with the some mismanagement in the database was there, we had enough time to handle it. But now, with this quickness of the access, if there is something wrong in the database, giving quick reply back or giving quick solutions to the questions raised by the users would become difficult. So not only good quality database, a robust infrastructure, as well as a very good back-end support. These three things are very much required in this system for taking this our digital technology adoption to the last mile. Capacity building of the employees also over the time has taken place. Still, it requires lot is required to be done. Certain departments of the government has been adapting this technology very quickly, but certain departments, for example, I may say about the revenue department, where the land records are there, there still the staff also has to have a very good efforts for capacity building for them, and the database is also very equally important for the revenue department, because now and then any question related to land and the who is owning the land, or whether the size of the plot and any other revenue records is very important for decision making at all levels, and it has all legal implications also. So in that way, I think we have, the last decade has helped us to move quite ahead, and I am envisaging that in the next coming 5 years, still perhaps we'll be having a larger leap towards a better utilization of these technologies, and converting it into better deliveries of the service to not only the families or not only to the citizens, but every individual of the country would be able to access all our requirements that he needs to assess for his facilities and amenities that are to be supposed to be provided to him in a democratic country. I'm also would like to put up an example that where in small urban cities or small urban towns, uh, the services like water supply and drainages. Earlier, we used to use SCADA for water supply and related activities, but now we are utilizing SCADA and related such facilities for STPs also. Now, live monitoring, real-time monitoring of STPs are also done. Real-time monitoring of the underground drainage systems are also being done, and that too at a level of B class, C class, and D class urban local bodies. So that shows how the technology has trickled down from the large urban cities or from metro towns to the smaller D class and C class urban local bodies. Also, of course, say service benchmarking is taken up. Again, at all urban local bodies, in Gujarat, we have in place the MIS staff, the staff who are responsible for MIS activities. And so the data collection in real time on the web portals are being executed now. So that way, I think we have moved quite further. I think now the volume has been covered. The quality is the second thing which we have to cover. The quality of the database, quality of the services, quality of the infrastructure, quality of the services that are to be delivered can be much more, say, in place with the help of this quality aspect that has to be included. Of course, with this government side, lot of consultancy agencies are working with government. Lot of private sectors and public-private participation is there. Private sector models are helpful in various activities. Various things are to be carried out. As one of the earlier speakers talked about the private participation in various things. So that also has taken its own role in it. But however, still we need to have more openings. I think a platform is required where more and more this private participation would help us in making the public services and public systems more friendly and more useful to the citizens. I think that perhaps this is not only the story of Gujarat, but many other states like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and many other states also have been quite fairly moving in this direction. And I even recently I had been to Northeast, and I saw that the government offices in Northeast states also have been automatized in a very great way. And so I feel that slowly the entire country is picking up. And in recent future, we look forward for say more better delivery of services with the help of these technologies. And I would welcome all the private entrepreneurs and all the private platforms that would enable and help us for improving our services. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for your insightful thoughts. And very correctly mentioned that India is doing good, and specifically Gujarat. And talking about PM Modi, who had been in Gujarat for a long time, and You have correctly mentioned that you have been doing the ICT initiatives much before rest of the country. And last but not the least, that improving the quality of services and also empowering the government machineries to take informed decision is the need of the hour. So thank you so much for your insightful discussion, sir. Now, there before I go and ask other questions, there are some questions from the delegates who are participating in this live telecast. So this question is for Golok sir. So the question is how Passport Seva program is collaborating with the ICT to innovate and educate people. Sir, would you like to share some thoughts around that?
No, absolutely, Jyoti. I think there is no second thought about it. As I rightly said during my talk, saying that I think the way forward is how do you leverage the ecosystem at large, and government has lot of, as I said, digital infrastructure for public goods at a large. We have done enormous. The only idea is to how do you leverage them, collaborate them, share them, and most of the time I'll say the sad part is we are not able to leverage that ecosystem to the fullest of my knowledge, right? Let me give an example. For an example, let's say I am issuing a no a passport to a citizens of India, provided I have a good database like citizen database, provided I have a good database like criminal database, provided I have good database like a no, I can establish the identity of the citizens. I mean, what do you need to issue the passport? I simply need to hit all these three databases. I need not even call the citizens to my center, right? So the idea is how do you create this coexistence between and among us, develop these databases to its fullest on a real time no updation basis, and then can they exchange their knowledge in between, right? Can they share? Then can they exchange? That is one area I think we all need to work. Whether I as a government, you as a coming provide from private sectors, giving us some business model, giving us some technology to improve, giving up some best practices across the globe to improve. The second area I think we need to work on is the data strategy, right? Now, when I say data strategy, I think it is high time that we must understand our workload well. When I say workload, what kind of data I am dealing? Is it my sovereign workload? Is it my sensitive kind of a data sets? It is a is it I am no any way kind of a going away with breaching the personal data of any citizens? Is it I am anyway breaching the privacy concerns of a citizens, right? So do you really have a data strategy when we are collecting so much of a data, when I'm dealing so much of a data, not only citizens personal data but also a lot of non-personal data, right? So I must develop a data strategy, and when I develop a data strategy, I also ensure that I work on a data flow environment, right? And when I say it's a data flow environment, it involves industry, it involves we as a government, and how do you create that digital culture? How do you create that digital ethics? And no, I can very well say that when I was developing this digital culture among my all stakeholders, whether it is ministry per se, across India and across my global embassies and consulate, across my stakeholder among police, India Post or India Security Press Nasik, developing this digital culture, creating a trusted digital ecosystem takes longer time, right? It takes time to mature. And then once you have that kind of a maturity level, then probably some of our panel members were saying that leveraging the next bit of technology, whether it is AI, whether it is analytics, whether it is blockchain, any sort of no emerging technology becomes easy, because then only you will be able to understand what is that next sort of technology no giving me a next step of citizen experience or customer experience, right? The last thing probably I'd also like to add that, saying that when we are progressing towards leap and bound on this digital journey, I think now it is the time that along with this digital infra, one side, another side, lot of apps and devices coming into picture, and then the most critical part is how do you comply with those regulation compliances and land of the law, right? Tomorrow will be coming with, today it is the bill, but tomorrow when the data protection law come into picture, you will realize that unless you have this kind of a data driven strategy, unless you have a data strategy defined within your organization, unless you understand your data points well, it will sheer become difficult for you to even deal with any sort of data, be it your personal data, non-personal data, or citizens data. Because today probably we do not have that kind of teeth and laws are in place, but tomorrow when we have that kind of data protection law which will really take us into a next level of defining who I am, who you are, what I am doing with your data, what you are doing with my data, where I am sharing my data, who else is doing secondary use of the data. I think these are the concerns we all need to work on, and that's why I find no, it's not and no more a government alone, but it's a collaborative environment. You and industry, academia, research, every one of us is to work together. So thank you, Jyoti.
Sure. I think perfectly said, and very important to create the framework for data protection, data sharing, and this would absolutely ensure that organizations and government also adhering to that, and not entering into somebody's territory. I mean, we are on our way to that place. Now, another question to Colonel Nath, I'll ask. It is one of the question asked by by our delegates, that with all the advancement in the private sector, uh, from digitization to metaverse, being in the government sector, sir, how are you planning to cope up with these? And what are your views on that? So just wanted to hear from you.
I had touched a little bit upon this during the time and when I was speaking, and it is all to do with data also. That the more and more data we have, the more and more analytics we'll be able to do, and the more and more predictive outcomes we'll be able to give at that time. And so already platforms are designed in a way by which uh, it's already there in the e-commerce sector, where you can predict customer behavior and throw up the kind of advertisements which is already happening, where uh, you've gone to one place and bought something, tomorrow you'll find on your email page the same kind of advertisements being thrown. If you've gone to a hotel in some city, uh, maybe those kind of advertisements start coming, and so many other things. So of course it's an invasion of privacy, sometimes we do feel, but then we have to draw a line, and we have to move forward. So that is the way forward. Uh, we have to use the power of computing. We have to use the power of artificial intelligence, and metaverse and AI. That's a different field altogether. Where we create some virtual experiences for ourselves, and without actually going to the place, we actually really feel that we are in that particular place. So that is totally different, and we are having more and more of these immersive experiences today in a lot of. It's being actually used in a big way in. It started with gaming, but in a big way in our e-learning today, and yeah, it is going to grow, and uh, like without going to a particular place, we are going to have an immersive experience about the particular place, uh, so to speak. Like you can even feel the snowflakes falling because you have water being sprayed at the right time. Your seat is moving in different directions. If you are you must have seen those kind of movies, but those are yet not to that level which are being thought about. So, but as far as the government sector is concerned, I think we need to see firstly, the governance policies, the regulations, whether they are all falling into that, and then utilize these technologies for our own, uh, you know, goals, objectives which we have set for ourselves, and that is ensuring quality, ensuring the services being available to the last mile, to the most remote citizen. So these are tools, and very very creative use of these tools, innovative use of these tools can be made by anyone, and it can be any sector. It can. I just brought out an example about e-learning. It can be even in health. You know, people, surgeons can learn how to operate without really, today they learn with the help of some real live, cadavers or things like that. Today, tomorrow they can learn to operate with the help of this immersive experiences. And there are already simulators which are very, very effective. Uh, People are flight simulators, of course, are very common, but there are simulators in every field today. Uh, there are simulators for maintaining ships. People are being taught to maintain ships and submarines using simulators, and so many other fields the simulators are being used. So then we are talking about technology, the use of technology to create digital twins of ships, digital twins of automobiles, digital twins of aircraft, so that predictive maintenance can be carried out with the help of the insights or the results obtained from these digital twins. Uh, you know, so and then there is I see another question that AI, machine learning, Internet of Things, SaaS, and other technologies, uh, how they can help in building the groundwork for the future governance. So again, these are all I would say tools, but how to use these tools to achieve our aim, achieve our goals is the actual crux, and that is the actual creativity which is there in India's ecosystem today. Uh, uh, all the startups, and there are so many minds active today, and they come from so many different ways of life, and they have seen so many things which they want to correct. So all those things and use of these tools can actually make things happen as far as governance is concerned. And at the end, as I said, are the standards. You have standards means interoperability standards. You have standards by which the development of applications is governed, the data exchange. So it all actually has to fall into a framework, I would say. So all these technology bits and pieces have to fall into that foundational framework which you already laid. And we are coming up with standards in all different fields. In fact, CDAC is also doing a very ambitious project under MIT on e-governance standards. We already published some standards in accessibility, how to make services or websites available to specially able people. That's already been published, and we are working on e-governance standards in many fields. So once these standards are there, it will help people developing applications, people developing frameworks to work around those standards. That is the key, consolidation standards, laying a very sound foundation. And at the one end is the people sitting in the government, which lay out the objectives, which lay out the scope, and then you have the developers which come and do the system study, and they roll out the applications. And that's how things are taking place today. And then is the upgrade in the technology. Today AI and all these things are the buzzwords. Tomorrow the quantum technologies are coming in. So we are not falling behind there. There is a big initiative in CDAC and a lot of other institutions in embracing the latest technologies, and quantum technology is definitely one of those. So, it's all actually a part of the ecosystem. So it's a very fortunate thing that today governance, technology, standards, they are all part of one ecosystem.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. And very correctly mentioned, sir. Now, one last question to Dr. Vyas. And the question, sir, briefly, if you can tell that technologies like automation, chatbots are playing a major role in multiple arenas. How do you see these technology laying the roadmap for future governance? And do you think it would be important for you to have a streamlined citizen government connect? This can be helpful tools.
Uh, Pardon,
Yes,
the first
let me repeat. Yes, so my question is
not
that
audible to me.
technology.
Can you please repeat it?
Yes, can you hear me now? Do you hear me, sir?
Yes,
Okay, so my question is
yes, yes.
that technologies like automations, bots are playing a major role in multiple arenas. How do you see these emerging technologies laying the foundation of future governance? And do you think these technology can, ensure a seamless communication between government and citizen? Your views on that, sir?
Uh, yes, yeah. See, first of all, I would like to draw attention that any governance cannot be in isolation. Any department of government do not work in isolation, and so the first and foremost thing when the technology is required is for the coordination between the different departments. Once the coordination is there, databases from various departments are reached to the decision making platform. After that decision is taken, the thing is to be conveyed to the end user. Now, so all the various emerging technologies, various boards, all these things are required at various stages for seamless processing of the requirement of the citizen and passing on the decision to the citizen as per his requirement or as per his request. Both at the level of government as well as at the level of the citizen, the access to the required technology would be possible only if all the platforms are made in such a way. Say, one platform is for communication with the user or with the citizen. Another platform is communication between the various departments. The third level of platform which is required is the analytical platform of the given data for the given issue that has to be carried out. So at all stages, various kinds of technologies are required, various kinds of softwares are required, various kinds of apps are required. Ultimately, the platforms are to be coordinated, and finally the outcome of the application or outcome of the result has to be passed on to the citizen. So at all these stages, these things are required, and this becomes the groundwork for the governance. See, governance is not complete unless the user or the citizen is answered for his question or for the application that he has put up. So at all the stages of governance, these things play important role. And as I earlier said, that the quality of the database is most important. Now, giving a simple example, earlier when we were giving an admit card to somebody for entering an say exam for joining as a clerk in the government, suppose an admit card was given to him, and if there was some discrepancy in the birth date of that candidate in the admit card, he would have to come to the office, or he would have to write to the office. He would have to give a copy of his Aadhaar card. He would have to give some proof of his birth certificate, and then later on a file would be running on it, and at 2 or 3 levels the decision on the file would be taken, and then it would be corrected. Today what is happening, that the applications are online, the database is online. So if some mistake is found, immediately in the back end, the data is checked with the Aadhaar card data or any other data which has been taken into consideration. And immediately, say within 1 hour, we are able to reply back to the candidate. Either we give him an new admit card with the corrected date, or we tell him that his application is not matching with our database and we cannot serve to him. So this is how things have improved. Earlier, it used to take 3 to 4 days. Against that, now we can reply in 1 hour. But doing all this thing requires various platforms wherein the database of the Aadhaar card is taken into consideration, the database of his application is taken into consideration, the database of the admit card is taken into consideration, and his application is taken into consideration. So in that way, I think that all these emerging technologies play a very important role in building up the groundwork for the future governance. And maybe a stage will come wherein the candidate himself, in case he finds that his birth date is not correct, would be able to change the admit card by himself. And because the admit card with due authorization, he will be able to download by himself, because all the databases based on his request would match with each other, and a reply would directly pass on to him. That stage also will come. Instead of we replying him in 1 hour right now, maybe after say 1 year or 2 years, a situation will come where he himself will be able to correct his record, and that will be again authorized automatically on his screen or on the download which he gets. So this is important for the future governance.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, and very correctly mentioned. And I would like to thank all the panelists here for your insightful thought. And it has been a really great 1 hour to talk to you and understand about the previous initiatives, upcoming initiatives, and how we as a country have to ensure that we go and make use of technology. And the theme of today's discussion, Samvaad, wherein we work on the platforms wherein citizen and governance can interact in a better way, make experiences better for the citizen as well as the government departments to operate seamlessly. With this, I would like to invite Rashi. Rashi, would you like to come? Okay. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this insightful discussion. As rightly mentioned by Jyotiji, we definitely discussed some of the most significant topics today that are actually deciding the future of our nation, which is certainly bright with all these leaders who are here on the dais with us. And I think I have a question for Jyotiji that we have received from our delegate. Jyotiji, our delegate wants to know that digital infrastructure is helping in India in building and in service delivery, in public service delivery. Would you like to help us in understanding how Freshworks is helping India build resilient digital infra?
Okay, thank you so much, and really a great question. So, see, Freshworks is an organization, and we are into business of creating delight. So we are actually how we are trying to help our enterprise customers and government customers is by streamlining the communication between government and citizen, and also ensuring that the back end government officers who have to work on those requests are also adequately equipped with AI, ML, and various technologies, that they have a context. So one of the problem that government has is that there are various channels which are there, and they work in silos. At times, there's a different team which is managing call center. There's a different social media monitoring team. There's a different team which is managing email requests. So what we do, we try and consolidate all those into similar single backend, so that you don't have to go anywhere. Second important point, how we are helping government is by ensuring that, like, I'll take an example of the COVID platform during Niti, the second wave of COVID we worked with for Niti Aayog. wherein we had to ensure that a notification has to go to Ministry of External Affairs, Customs, Red Cross, various volunteers, how to ensure the demand from various states and ensure the delivery in time. So because of the fact that we are a platform, we do not have to build anything new. We just have to customize our low code, no code platform to meet the needs of the public sector, like we are doing it for enterprise customers. And like I tell that Freshworks is a vertical agnostic organization, because employees are there, and every organization has customer. For government, the customers are citizens. So and another thing which what we are doing is that we have understood, Nath sir was saying, that in case you need to go to rural India and the last mile connectivity, you have to ensure that you are speaking the local language. You are going to Gujarat, and some place in Gujarat, rural area, this person is not comfortable going to a site and do some registration. Can we use local language chatbots which can not talk to them and take care of his queries or her queries to a certain level, and then again have an interactive and a very personalized experience. So I think this is what we are doing. So with this last sentence, that we ensure that enabling citizen through multiple ways to reach out to government, having at the same time to empower the employees and the officers with analytics, with absolute data based insight, so that they are able to resolve faster and make faster decisions, is what we have been doing.
Very beautifully briefed. Something that touches India's diversity, the colloquial languages we have with the touch of technologies definitely has a brighter future. So, one last question from our delegate would be, our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, spoke about the India's tech decade. So, what's your opinion, and how do you think key technology foundations are helping India's decade to build up?
So, thanks for asking this question, Rashi. So, I am a fan of RPM. I mean, and I like say this very openly. And TechEd is all about upskilling and making and ensuring that whatever technology and platform we are creating, we are able to measure the impact in a better way. So having change management, and I would like to spend some time here, that whenever we are talking about government machinery, at times we have a lot of complaints, but we don't understand it is really diverse, and so many brains and hands are working to ensure and ensure that it is running optimally. So change management is very important. And I think Nath sir was saying, or Vyas sir was saying, but that we have to ensure that whatever we have to upscale that. So that change management has to happen within government system also. That now we have infrastructure, we have some challenges, fine, but we have it. But what about the quality? So next step would be to ensure that the change management is easy, the monitoring is happening in a better way.
I
Okay.
would like to add something to what Jyoti is saying.
Sir, yes.
Uh, the question says that what are the key technology foundations on which India's decade must be built. So I would
Yes.
say, to make it more holistic and well-rounded, uh, we should go. All these things should go hand in hand. That is,
True.
research and development. The technology should be at the core. Whatever technology is there
Absolutely.
should be at the core. Around that, uh, there should be emphasis or encouragement towards the R&D, domestic R&D. Then R&D outcomes to be translated to manufacturing or the development database. Then there should be capacity building. That means we should have more and more percolation of this technology outcomes, and more trained workforce, a quality trained workforce, to develop these technology solutions, to get into the manufacturing area and deliver quality, to deliver high end solutions. And last is the applications which should be developed, the IT applications which should be developed using these kind of technologies. So when you look at these 3, 4, 5 pillars, I think it can actually really propel our country
Clean.
into a
Yeah.
different dimension, and it can be self-sustaining. Yeah.
Thanks for adding. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes, R&D, of course. Thank you so much for adding on that important point here, sir. With this, I would like to bring this to a closure and thank you, all of you, for your valuable time. I think in today's webinar, we could discuss something which is going to bring our future into the limelight with technology in sync. And now I would request our team to share the certificates of appreciation. And we want to give it away to our esteemed panelists who have given their valuable time today. Uh, to begin with, token of gratitude, we are presenting to Dr. Dimant Kumar Vyasji, Regional Commissioner of Municipalities, Rajkot Zone, Gujarat. Thank you so much for attending this webinar and joining us today, sir, sharing your valuable insight. Thank you so much, sir. Uh,
Thank
can
you.
we have can we have the next certificate on screen? Thank you. Now, the next token of gratitude is presented to Colonel A.K. Naji, Executive Director, Corporate Strategy, SIDAC. Thank you so much for joining us today for the webinar, sir, and adding to the valuable discussion that we had today. Thank you, sir. Can we have the next certificate on screen, please? The next certificate is presented to Dr. Vinay Thakur, Managing Director, National Informatics Center Services, Government of India. Thank you, Dr. Thakur, for joining us today. I believe he's not with us now. All right. The next, can we have the next certificate, please? Yes. The next certificate is presented to Mr. Samir Onhaliji. He is State Mission Director, Swachh Maharashtra Mission Urban. Thank you so much, Samirji, for joining us today. He's not with us now. Token of gratitude, the next certificate is presented to Golok Kumar Semliji, Chief Technology Officer, Passport Seva Program, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Thank you, Semliji, for joining us today and giving us your valuable time. And with this, I would like to thank Jyoti Saini ji, Public Sector Head, Freshworks, for moderating the session wonderfully, presenting a presentation that brought into the limelight the digital transformation that Freshworks is bringing in and helping institutions in leveling up their innovation. So with this, I would request my colleague to share a video delight once again for you that will help you understand how fresh work is touching lives and helping bring in innovation into picture. Thank you so much. Namaskar. This is Rashid.
Customer expectations for businesses like yours keep going up with each passing day. They want you to be there for them, everywhere. They want to email you, call you, chat with you, DM you on social media, and sometimes want to help themselves. If you're managing all these interactions with separate tools, it can get pretty overwhelming. What you need is a single tool that'll streamline all your customer inquiries and enable you to provide stellar support across all channels. Freshdesk is an omni-channel help desk that collates your multi-channel support inquiries as tickets, calls, and chats for you to manage within a single interface while enabling you to offer self-service. Its intelligent automations are built to automate support workflows across channels. Reduce your workload by using Freshdesk to automatically assign, prioritize, and track your tickets, calls, and chats efficiently. In addition to integrating channels and automation, it integrates with your favorite apps and tools to make collaboration with context easy. Make sure your agents have all of the information they need while supporting customers. With your channels, automation, and collaboration in one place, all you have to do is measure and optimize your support as you go. With Freshdesk's powerful analytics module, you get a 360 view of your support performance that will tell you where your support stands. Freshdesk helps you save money, effort, and time, and sets you up to wow your customers with an intuitive, collaborative, and powerful omni-channel support solution.
Sign up for a free trial today and start delivering customer delight.
Business software that's hard to use can make work feel pretty darn frustrating. Because instead of helping you do your job, it feels like it's working against you. But Freshworks makes software that people actually love to use, which means you can stop fighting your software and start working the way you've always imagined. Freshworks, ridiculously easy software for business.
भारत एक युवा देश है। विश्व में हमने युवाओं की आईटी एनर्जी के माध्यम से अपना एक रुतबा खड़ा किया है और भारत इसके बात के लिए गर्व कर सकता है। दुनिया में हम आंख में आंख मिला करके बात कर सकते हैं और ये मेरा साफ मैं हमेशा कहता आया हूं, आईटी प्लस आईटी इज इक्वल टू आईटी। इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी प्लस इंडियन टैलेंट इज इक्वल टू इंडिया टुमारो।